And now, the general weather around Alaska.
Up first, there's a snow advisory out here for 4 to 6 inches of snow expected for Petersburg, or for the greater Petersburg area there, and that's out from 9 p.m. tonight until noon on Thursday. Moving from there, we've got on the satellite imagery, see surges of moisture here pushing in across the panhandle today. Not so much precipitation there today, but another surge just making landfall here on the last frame along the central and south coast of the panhandle there. That kind of separating the colder air to the north, milder conditions of the south, and a lot of cold air in over the interior of the state all the way up to the Arctic coast and southward here with some modified Arctic air down into Bristol Bay and Kodiak Island area. And otherwise, out here to the west, we've got some moisture here approaching the western Arctic coastal areas. That brings some light snow to all around Point Ley on down to Point Hope and those areas today, but still just clouds farther to the south there. Some of that moisture is spreading into the Bering Strait. Then kind of a weak system right here, remnants of that front that got pulled, stretched apart here. With that moisture sliding eastward, kind of a low center developing right in this area on that band. And another weak band out there to the west. And rolling that through again, you can see how that front just vanishes, at least the mid and high level clouds go away. Still some lower level moisture there, producing a few scattered showers that we see on the chart today. Some light moisture here across the Alaska Peninsula, generally less than 1/10 of an inch during the day today there. Some areas not getting anything at all, and some more shower activity with a weak trough here out over the Adak-Atka area or in that vicinity. Cold high pressure centered over the northern Koyukuk Valley and the Brooks Range kept temperatures well below zero throughout the day, in some cases in the -30s for highs at say Chokyitzuk and Arctic Village, Beaver, and those locations, with temperatures down to about -20 in the Fairbanks area, at least at the airport this afternoon. That's their 24-hour low there occurring right now. And starting to see a little bit of an increase in the northeast winds, but nothing really significant yet occurring here for the Manuska Valley, North Gulf Coast areas. And then we've got this weak system here pushing into the southeast coast, bringing kind of an intermittent precipitation pattern today there. And then another one back here that'll track eastward tonight. And that'll tend to increase the moisture here with snow in the northern areas, a mix somewhere in between, and then rain down toward the Prince of Wales Island area into Dixon Entrance. That should fall in the form of snow in the Petersburg area. As I mentioned, 4 to 8 inches expected there by noon tomorrow. Otherwise, clear and cold over the interior. Tightening gradient here. Might pick up some northeast breezes or northerly breezes for the Copper River Basin, Manuska Valley area. More likely though along the North Gulf Coast. Could see increasing north winds for Resurrection Bay around the Seward area. And still some shower activity left with whatever moisture is still there with that with that frontal boundary there. That's just about gone. Next system, a lot more significant here to the south. That's lifting northward and begins to spread the rain in late tonight and tomorrow. Looks kind of wet from Adak and Atka eastward here into the western Alaska Peninsula. Northern Bering Sea, and then out to the west, dry conditions. Cold and dry over interior Alaska tomorrow. Again, a little bit milder with some more cloudiness, but also a better chance of some snow. Picking up the southwest winds a little bit too for the area up here. As you can see, a little bit tighter gradient there. So look for some light snow, maybe blowing and drifting a little bit there for the western central Arctic coast into the north slope, but no significant new snow amounts expected there. And then for the southeast coast, we have this weak low there just west of Prince of Wales Island, keeping moisture in that area, rain and snow in the usual locations. And then that'll be followed by, as you can see, dries out over the northern panhandle tomorrow with increasing northerly winds there in that area, bringing some colder, drier air into those locations. And then that spreads southward with should be a precipitation-free day for the entire southeast coast on Friday. Still cold and dry over the interior. This area low pressure now starting to make after moving east, starting to make a jog to the south. But it looks like all the light snow will get hung up in the Brooks Range there. Probably see some increasing clouds over the upper Yukon Valley areas. Variable clouds in the central part of the state, otherwise not much change now. And a looks like the windiest areas will be over the northern southeast coast, and it stays wet here for the Aleutians and Alaska, or for the western Alaska Peninsula on out to the Fox Islands there, and then showers for the western Aleutians. And from there, looking at the lows tonight, anywhere from 25 to 45 below again here in the central eastern interior, right on up to the eastern north slope, with temperatures down to around 0 there for Nome into Amonuk and St. Michael. Otherwise, lower teens for Nunivak Island. Mid-teens, mid to upper teens for St. Lawrence Island, in the 30s for the Aleutians. Closer to 40 though for Nikolsky and Unalaska. 29 for Kodiak. Lows South Central Alaska, 5 above to 15 below, and 20 to 25 below or so. Some areas colder for the Copper River Basin. And for the southeast coast, they're mid-30s to the south, mid-20s to the north. Highs for tomorrow, still see that temperature range 25 to 30 over the northern southeast coast, lower 40s down to the south of a warm front, and staying well below 0 over much interior Alaska, and then above 0 as you get out toward the coastline, up to 25 for St. Lawrence Island, and then milder southwest flow, bringing it into the mid-teens for the western central Arctic coast, and mid-40s for the Aleutians. Lows in the lower 40s for the eastern central Aleutians, 30s for the Alaska Peninsula, down to about 5 degrees for Bristol Bay, and again 25 to 45 below central eastern interior, anywhere from 0 to 20 below south central Alaska, down to around 7 for Homer, and 25 to 35 below in the Copper River Basin. Colder in the Panhandle here in the northern areas, down to 10 to 15 for the lows, upper 20s, lower 30s down to the south, followed by highs in the upper 30s southern Panhandle, and then 15 to 22 for the northern areas. Staying below 0 central eastern interior, but milder for the Arctic coast with that moisture and wind pushing eastward, and back up around 40 for Kodiak, lower to mid-40s for the Alaska Peninsula and the eastern Aleutians.